Hello and welcome to highlights of the Thrustmaster Formula SimRacing World Championship from the grueling Marina Bay Street Circuit. With the barriers in constant close proximity and 61 laps ahead of the drivers, it's a real test of their concentration. In the Drivers' Championship, Mohamed Patel leads from Yerny Simoncic, who has been consistently closing the gap as a result of his recent winning streak. Whilst in the Constructors, Musto have a strong lead over Flag to Flag, who are in an extremely close battle with Ghost Speed for second place. On pole for this race is Mohamed Patel, who takes his first pole position since Melbourne. However, it was not by much, as he only beat his teammate Kish by just 1,000th of a second. Gosby was third ahead of Netrex's Sander Callas and ACR's Michi Hoyer, whilst Yerny Simoncic could only manage 6th, meaning it was going to be an uphill struggle to repeat his 2016 triumph. ACR reserve Robin Pansar starts 7th, with Ghost Speed's reserve Luke Maguire, D'Alessandro and Sadler rounding out the top 10. Further down the field, Jeffrey Fournier and Jordan Weeks make their WC debuts in this race. However, Eric Andre unfortunately was unable to start due to technical difficulties, while Petter Schultz starts from pit lane. With many contenders out of position, we were certainly set for an enthralling race. Lights out and Patel gets a fabulous start, however contact with Callas at turn 1 resulted in disastrous consequences for Simoncic. Whilst up front, Kish barely managed to defend from Gosby for second. Overtaking may be tricky here, but that certainly wasn't fazing Simoncic, as he had started his fight back through the field. From the way the Ghost Speed driver was slicing his way through the field, it was clear he was on a lighter fuel load than those drivers on the prime tyres. That being backed up when at the end of lap 8 he dived into the pit lane for a change of strategy and onto the prime tyre. It didn't take long for the tight and twisty circuit to claim its first victims though, as the twister of Eros Masciuli had a weird understeering moment into turn 19, hitting the wall and eventually resulting in the Italian's retirement. A few laps later, Bodbull's Risto Capit oversteered at turn 10, damaging his suspension and eventually causing his retirement. However, for the other Twister driver, things were getting interesting, as D'Alessandro got a run on Sadler, but the Ghost Speed engineering driver was having none of it. The pair ran side by side for a third of a lap, however at turn 16 the pair came to blows and the ACR of Pansar had nowhere to go. Despite his strategy being ruined by his turn 1 spin, Simoncic just wasn't going to let anything get him down, as he made a pass on both his teammate Maguire before passing Pansar a few corners later, despite a little bit of contact. Meanwhile, back at the front, the Musto pair pitted at a more conventional time than their rival, indicating a 2-stop strategy. They switched to the option tyres. Meanwhile, in the midfield, Saxon and Fournier demonstrate just how tricky the Singapore pit exit can be, the contact resulting in the latter's retirement. On lap 37, Kish pitted for his second stop for a set of primes, however he rejoined side by side with the twister of D'Alessandro and the Hungarian prevailing. However, down Raffles Boulevard, the Musto driver let him through. When the Italian pitted, he was able to just get ahead of the Netrex of Callas on the pit exit. The Twister driver was on the alternate strategy, which meant he was on the option tyre, unlike the majority of the field. There was no such dramas for the leader though, as he made his final stop, easily rejoining into the lead. Things were certainly looking good for the championship leader. The grueling Marina Bay Street circuit continued to bite. Putting the power down too early at turn 7 was obviously only going to mean one thing for Jordan Weeks, sending him into retirement. Arif Roslan also fell victim to the tricky circuit as he caught the cobblestones at turn 9, damaging his suspension and causing his retirement. Musto were looking good for a 1-2 finish. However, on lap 57, disaster struck second place Daniel Kish as an electrical fault put him on the sidelines. There may have been only 3 laps to go, but the battle for third was certainly not done, as D'Alessandro on option tyres had his sights set on Hoyer's third place. But today belonged to the Musto of Mohamed Patel as he crossed the line to take his 7th win of the season. Despite Kish's misfortune, this result was enough to secure the constructors for Musto Racing. Second was the ultra-consistent Martin Gosby, and Michi Hoyer managing to hold off D'Alessandro for third. Sander Callas finished in 5th ahead of Yerny Simoncic, who was able to recover to 6th ahead of his sister teammate Wieswell. Becker had a difficult race to 8th ahead of Saxon in 9th, with Robin Pansar taking the final point in 10th. 12 cars saw the checkered flag in a race packed with action and attrition. In the driver's standings, Patel has extended his lead to 60 points, meaning he can secure the title in Suzuka if he finishes on the podium, whilst Gosby has extended his gap over 4th placed Kish after the latter's disconnection. Whilst the constructors may be sealed for Musto, the battle for second is still on between Flag to Flag and Ghost Speed, as they are separated by just 18 points, whilst Avid Chronic Racing remain in a lonely 4th. Today's race sealed the constructors, but the drivers is still up for grabs. The big question is, can Mohamed Patel secure the driver's title at the next race in Suzuka? If you think you have what it takes, check out the links below and sign up yourself. Keep up to date with FSR by following us on social media and subscribing to our YouTube channel for all the live streams and highlight videos. I have been your commentator Dave Paling, and thank you very much for watching this highlights video. Goodbye.